Pretty good. There's been a lot of stress that's gone under the bridge of the last 3 weeks. I've finished the album, so it's all mastered and ready to go. Finished the website, finished the artwork. So now everything's gone to the printer, and I should get all the CDs back tomorrow. Lots of reasons. I did the EP maybe 2 years ago of the same name, Bonfire Music, and it just kind of sat there for a while, and it was only 3 songs, and I've written so many songs. I wanted to, on the one hand, I wanted to kind of just to be able to share lots of those old songs with people, but also it got to the point where they were kind of bugging me, the old songs that were just sitting there, and you just kind of play them in your bedroom and make little recordings of them and put them online now and again. But I wanted to do something that was actually a proper finished project, and to have a product to go, you know, there, done. It's a proper job, if you like, and I'd have it forever then. Some of them are quite Simon and Garfunkel-esque, so some of them are just a couple of acoustic guitars and a vocal, and that's it. The kind of people that I guess I take my influences from are the people that I grew up listening to, hearing records of. So be the Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel, and Bob Dylan are the 3 big ones. And then kind of more latterly, I suppose, people like more folk and blues artists like Eric Bibb and Martin Simpson and people like that. So it's very, the album's a very folky acoustic album with a smattering of blues here and there. I think Bonfire Music kind of follows on from that feeling I have of these songs nagging me and pestering me to kind of get them recorded, because to kind of get them recorded and get them on an album, I feel like in a sense I can then let them go and I can just walk away from them, and so I thought of this concept of some kid going to a forest and taking all the songs he's ever written, and in his kind of hurried, this rush he's got to kind of grow up, he takes all these old songs that have been mithering him and kind of keeping him a child for so long, and throwing them on the bonfire and letting them burn and then just walking away. So it's a kind of what's it called, like a cathartic thing as well, I suppose, and maybe that's all a bit kind of dramatic, but it seemed to work. Originally I wanted to do, well, I thought I should just do a best of thing, just get the best songs, put them on a kind of generic album. But then, I don't know, I just thought I'd rather do it as a story and have it as a kind of concept going on, which was more interesting to me like that. I don't know, to be honest, and I did quite intentionally stop thinking about that halfway through, because I was getting very caught up in which, like I said, which are the best songs and which songs will people connect with the most, which songs will people like the most, and I was trying to emulate people that I liked, but in the end I just thought all that matters ultimately is that I've got this thing on my shelf in 40 years time, and I'm happy with it, because you can never please everybody. Yeah. So as long as I'm happy with it, then whoever likes it is going to like it, and whoever doesn't like it, I won't be able to change that anyway. So and maybe that's a bit selfish, but in the end I thought I'm just going to do this for me. Difficult to say. I think Nobody is the best song on the album, and it's probably my favourite just because I think it's probably the best song. But I mean, I like personally, I like other songs, like Twinkle Twinkle. There's a few kind of nursery rhyme songs that I quite like, Twinkle Twinkle and Mockingbird. And there are songs, to be fair, which I already skip. when I'm listening to them, and I've listened to it too many times, so I need to stop doing that. There are songs that I already go, yeah, I know that, I know I'm happy with that now, I don't want to listen to it anymore, that I skip. So yeah, probably the more kind of whimsical, like I say, the ones that are a bit more Simon and Garfunkel-y, with a couple of acoustic guitars and just a vocal, the simpler ones. Yes, it's very much so, because everything's been building to this point, getting the album recorded and getting the band together. The four of us, Henry, who plays double bass, Mike Wilton, who's guitar, and Poppy Alice, who's singing, we'd never played together or rehearsed together in the same place at the same time until last weekend. So it's always been me and two of them, or me and one of them. So everything's kind of been building to this point, get the album done and do a decent gig. And we've got Matt Benny in on the drums. So it's going to be the biggest gig we've done, I think. Good heavens, no. Well, unless someone knocks on my door and says, "Do you want to come with us on tour?" Then no. I've just moved to Brighton, so I'm gonna at the moment, all I want to do is just crawl down to the beach and just lie on the beach like that for 6 months. But I will probably gig as much as possible in Brighton. After a little break, I shall do as much as possible down there, and then probably do another album. I caught myself the other day writing down the songs I want to do for the next album. I thought, no, stop. Get this one done first, get this gig out the way first, and then start worrying about what next. But there will be, there are countless other mithering songs that, won't leave me alone, so they're going to have to get recorded as well at some point. Yeah, the biggest thing that's changed is I'm now taking it seriously, rather than kind of getting embarrassed about the fact that I'm a musician and playing guitar and should care more about my job and those kind of things. And that took a long time to get to that point of saying to myself, actually, this is okay. Investing all your money in this, that's okay. Going back into the studio again, despite 2 days where we went through a couple of songs that didn't work, that's a waste of 2 days. Doing that, going back in and getting it all done as I want it, that's all right. So kind of giving it credibility, I think, has been probably the biggest change that's happened. Twinkle Twinkle was very easy. It's a bit of a rip-off of a Donovan riff, a little nursery rhyme and a few harmonics, and that's about it. And it took 5 minutes to write and about half an hour to record. There are other songs like Mockingbird, the other nursery rhyme, that took 10 years to write and 2 days to record. So it's funny how it works out like that. You think something is, and there are other songs like Night Without Sleep that you think is going to be very straightforward, but actually when you've got 10, 12 different tracks to try and record, drums and guitars and bass and all the rest of it, it can take 2 days, and that's really boring, because I'm used to sitting in my room with an 8-track going guitar, vocal, a little cheeky guitar line, done, master, finished. But so yeah, some were quick and some were a pain. It's funny because normally I have awful stage fright, and that's probably why it took me so long as an adult to actually start doing gigs. I only started gigging a few years ago, a couple of years ago maybe, and ever since this big gig we did in November last year for Joan Armour Trading in Tunbridge Wells, that for some reason at that gig I wasn't nervous and I kept expecting it to happen. So normally it's kind of 80% abject mortal terror and 20% looking forward to it. And that seems to have kind of flipped round recently. So I think I'm still not too nervous now. So I think when Old Dunson's out on stage saying, "Here we go," I think I'll be really looking forward to it, really excited to get on and actually play these songs and play with the band as well, because now we're sounding really good. So it's actually really good fun just playing with those guys on stage. Well, someone once said, one of my friends, Sam, said the music is upbeat melancholy, which I quite like, and that's probably the truest statement for what it is. Well, I'd like them to take an album away in the first place. That's the first thing to take away. I want to be able to do a good gig. That's the most important thing to me at this point, to be able to do a really entertaining gig for people. And I think, I mean, the songs I like listening to are the songs where there's for some reason what people are singing about kind of echoes in my own experience. So if I mean, the album's a bit of a journey. It's a bit of a concept album, if you like, of saying no to all the kind of things that are keeping you in one fixed place, and going out and doing and making the album is what actually happened. But the kind of concept of the story is that there's this kid and he goes out and he burns all these old stories and records of his life. So I mean, if people like, you know, walking in the country and singing in the rain and those kind of things, then that's all good.